Hi there, welcome to the training, the essential 3-step process to mastering Gua Sha in your bodywork practice without breaking the bank. Why I say that is some of the more extensive trainings in scraping techniques and Gua Sha can be quite expensive, and still they don't really fully cover the material that you could be learning to really master these scraping techniques. Welcome to the training. My name is Lisa. I'm currently residing in Ontario, Canada, and curious to know where you're coming from. We get people from all over the world, largely Canada and the United States, but I always have a few people in from Europe and South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and usually English-speaking countries, but of course people from other countries are always welcome as well. Leave your location in the chat, especially if it's of an interesting location. So we're going to get right into this today because I have a lot to show you guys. So you're in the right place if you're a client-focused practitioner and you do everything in your power to help your patients get better. You want to learn things the right way. You're in the right place if you're interested in taking your practice to the next level with proven ancient healing techniques, as well as modern medical approaches. You're open to the possibility that your approach to your clients may shift in your assessment and your treatments. You're interested in getting to the root cause of your client's problems, not just relieving their symptoms temporarily. And you're interested in energy systems that are based on the root cause to apply your skills rather than using generic protocols that give you basically skills of applying temporary relief. This training is not for you if you're looking for a cookie cutter methodology that's going to show you the basics of using a tool just to get you through things so that you can follow market trends. If you're not concerned about actually becoming a better practitioner and you're just looking for those quick CE credits, you only believe in scientific approach, you're not interested in applying any ancient healing approaches to your treatments, and you have no intention of changing the way that you work on your clients or the way that you think about your approach to the work. So my promise to you is that I'm going to deliver as much valuable content as I possibly can in this 60-minute training. And in return, I'm asking you to stay open to new ideas and approaches, to treat myself and others in this training with respect and dignity, and that you ask permission to use any of my materials, images, content, or quotes in my training or in this video, and that you give credit. People have a tendency to use material without thinking twice about it, and it's not in integrity, and it's actually against the law. So let's not do that. Okay, so just a few tips for watching this training. Just find yourself a quiet space out of distraction, close the tabs on your computer, and be ready to learn and absorb. Get in a quiet space, turn off your phone, give your full attention to this training. You work hard, you deserve a little 60-minute time of focused training, and I also deserve your attention. I worked very hard on this training. So yes, that would be great. And if you have any questions, you just have to put them in the question box on the side, and I will answer your questions in the breaks. You don't have to be afraid to ask questions. There are no stupid questions, only the questions you don't ask. Unless, of course, you just weren't paying attention and you have to re-ask a question. That's we don't want that. But all questions are welcome. Okay, so during this training, we're going to learn about the 3 biggest mistakes to avoid when learning and practicing Gua Sha or any other treatment modality, really, but particularly Gua Sha today, and my 4-step framework for learning Gua Sha in its entirety. So this training does lead into some online courses that I'm going to be offering you an amazing deal on at the end. And just to give you the heads up, there are bonus training for action takers. So there's going to be, if you make it to the end, there's going to be an opportunity for you. I'm going to have a special link for you if you buy the course right away. And this is a special training on incorporating GUA SHA techniques into your existing practice. So this is a special curated training to demonstrate how and when to introduce GUA SHA or scraping techniques within your session. Your clients get the treatment they don't know they need, but after receiving it, they won't want to live without it. And I have another bonus training for the early action takers as well, the ultimate upsell technique. So this one's going to be based on facial gua sha, how to add it to your treatments for an easy additional income that is easy on your body. So it really saves your physical energy output, not only from a muscular caloric side of things, but also just like an energetic drain as well. So it really saves you, and your clients are going to absolutely love it. They're going to love how they feel. They're going to love the effects, and they're going to want to come back again and again. So these are two fast acting bonuses, and I'm just curious which one you would choose if you only got to choose one. Incorporating gua sha techniques into your existing practice or upselling facial gua sha in your practice. So feel free to leave a comment and let me know what your preference would be. It doesn't matter. It does matter. You're going to get both anyways. So just a curious question to see which one is actually more interesting to you. So getting right into it. So we've all been there in the treatment. Client says, you could go deeper if you wanted. Yeah. So I know what's going on right now. Your mind is starting to race because you love it when your clients say this. It's like there's so many things crossing our minds at this point, aren't it? Don't be shy. Put your thoughts in the chat. I love to hear different people's responses. It's always good to have a good laugh. Um, you know, I used to think to myself, oh my gosh, you try and do this. You try and massage this deep. You think this job is easy? Maybe you should try a little stretching, then you wouldn't be so tight. You don't pay me enough for that. There's so many different comments that go through my mind, sometimes profanities also. And usually we have to, just kind of check in on ourselves and come up with an answer that is going to satisfy our clients. Going deeper might not even be the right answer for the client. They may feel like they want more pressure because they have a lot of congestion, but going deeper sometimes can actually be harmful for them. So as professionals, they have to trust that we actually know what's best for our client. Regardless, if we were to put 100% into every treatment we did, we simply wouldn't survive. We just wouldn't be able to last in our practice for very long, because as you know, the people who usually want to go deeper are the people who have the most tension in their bodies and the most difficult to work on. And it's really never enough. You can put everything, you can climb right on top of that person, you can use a sharp point on your elbow. I mean, usually they're still asking for more until they're screaming in pain. It's the problem isn't really that they need more pressure usually. The problem is, there's congestion there that sometimes is protecting something underneath that actually needs protection. And sometimes it's just, it's a disconnection, right? So we have to understand what it is that our client really needs, but we also need tools that we can use that can get in there and work a little bit deeper, because we hate to disappoint our clients, and we certainly don't want to lose them to someone else who is willing to dig deep, whether the client needs it or not. So picture this. You've raised your standards of practice and you have improved the quality of your work. You start to have a lot more autonomy in your practice because you are now getting a higher quality of clients in your clinic. You're filling up from referrals because your work is so great. And then you're able to fill your practice and increase your rates. And what happens is when you improve your treatment abilities, your skill set, you can now do the GUA SHA test, do the SHA test on your client and see if GUA SHA is appropriate for this person. And perhaps you can use this easy, straightforward technique on your client to eliminate that feeling of blocked energy, of rock hard muscles. Um, and you can start to clear that out and eliminate your client's pain and open up the entire area for the client, and they will feel amazing. This is the most common thing that you hear as a result of GUA SHA is that clients are so happy. They feel so loose and liberated and free in that area. They're surprised. They're overjoyed and they're grateful, and so are you, because your hands aren't suffering from doing what the treatment that you just did. So I will say that learning East Asian medicine techniques was the number one way that I learned to heal myself, because I, as you'll learn later, have had some serious health issues in my life. And this kind of tension existed in my body, and deep treatment wasn't good for me. So, in an extension of that, through my own experience, it not only made me a very sensitive and effective practitioner with a long waiting list. I've been able to practice for more than 25 years because I'm using these effective and efficient tools to get my clients where they need to go. So at that moment, I'll introduce myself quickly. I'm Lisa. I'm a mother. I'm a healer. I'm a gardener, an explorer, world traveler, and a teacher. When I'm not out exploring the world looking for new ancient healing techniques or treating difficult clients, you can find me spending time in nature in my garden or with my horses. Before starting my own teaching practice, I was a key instructor at AIM Academy in Toronto, Canada, in their shiatsu therapy and acupuncture programs, as well as the Toronto School of Traditional Chinese Medicine. Up until six and a half years ago, I was traveling and teaching live classes all over the place, all over the world, and had developed my online training. Then I had a really horrible accident, almost cost me my life. And for 4 years, I was very ill with just severe amounts of pain, daily migraines. And this was actually the first time I really got to dig in and see the true power of GUA SHA. I was literally praying for relief from the intense pain that I felt every day. My migraines were almost unbearable. I would spend a lot of time just laying horizontal with cool cloths on my head, trying to get into a silent place, but I had to keep going. I'd used up my entire savings. I'd sold my house to pay my bills. I really just didn't have a lot of choice in the matter. So the first big aha moment came when I had attended a continuing education workshop with quite a famous worldwide practitioner. And he added an extra day bonus class training on GUA SHA. Even though I'd already studied GUA SHA with 2 teachers, I wasn't really using a lot in my practice because I did feel a little uncertain. So I went for it. And in the practice, while the others were working on the head and neck area, it was contraindicated for me to receive that kind of treatment. So my practice partner started to treat my leg. And that's when something amazing happened. If you know the meridian system in traditional Chinese medicine, you may know about the gallbladder meridian, which runs from the eye down the side of the head, sides of the body, and down to the 4th toe. So I was having my gallbladder meridian treated with GUA SHA, and I noticed that 3 of the pinpointed migraine sites on my head just disappeared. They just went away immediately. It wasn't even something I had to wait for. And you know what? They've never come back. A slight shadow of a headache in those spots on occasion, if I get too dehydrated or something like that. But essentially, it fixed my head. That's when I knew I really had to dive deeper into Gua Sha and get this course out into the world. So why would you want to study with me? Well, I have over 8,000 hours of study in massage, shiatsu, osteopathy, movement therapy, and East Asian medicine. Additionally, I've studied with masters from all over the world, including a 500-hour internship in Japanese medicine. I've studied with Japanese and Chinese masters, who have 40 or 50 years of experience and more than 20,000 clinical hours. I've owned, opened, and operated several multidisciplinary clinics. But most importantly, I've taught more than 5,000 students from backgrounds in chiropractic, physiotherapy, massage therapy, kinesiology, Eastern medicine, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I've written curriculum for more than 20 courses. So I was writing curriculum for the acupuncture and the shiatsu schools before I went off on my own and started to create my own curriculum. So why study with me? Well, I actually care about your results as my students. I want you to be the best practitioner that you can be. I have a unique ability to understand your strengths and help you build on them. And I care about helping more people by sharing these techniques with you. I know it sounds crazy, but it is my mission to help end suffering. And I understand that because of my own chronic health problems, I understand the importance of really understanding whether a treatment is appropriate for a client. And that is the theory of do no harm, which you're going to hear me talk about again and again and again. And it is essentially the most important aspect of the work that we do. And it will cause us, when we have this intention, it will cause us to take pause when pause is required. So like many healers, it was my pain that introduced me to this work. I had a bit of a rough childhood and, right from very early on, had a terrible accident at the age of 7. My mother, she was mentally unstable with physical and emotional trauma. So I was really treated not compassionately, not caringly. And so I really had to just learn to take care of myself. And, I left home at 17 and I went and studied psychology because I wanted to try to understand why people could be the way they are, so cruel and unkind and damaging. And I got led to psychology and then shiatsu. And I studied shiatsu with a little baby, 9-month-old baby, because I just knew this calling was so strong and I didn't know how to make things easy for myself. Like many traumatized people, I only really knew how to make things difficult. But I knew that I had a purpose and I just knew that I had to do it. If I hadn't started doing this work and I was only doing body work and massage, I wouldn't have lasted more than 5 years. My body just had too much pain and trauma, and working smart was the only option. Now we can celebrate having these amazing tools and experience and knowledge to not only help ourselves, but many, many others. Look at us. I'm sure some of you are here because of your own experiences as well. And I applaud you for that. I applaud you for your concern for humanity, and I applaud you for sticking with it. So let's celebrate that. Let's just take a little second and realize how far we've come. Okay, so we're going to get into it here. So I'm going to start with the 3 common mistakes that practitioners make when learning new methods. And this is really big. So mistake number 1, believing that you can only study these techniques in person. So you're looking around, you're scrolling in the internet, and you're looking for courses, you're not really finding anything. So you go on to your social media group and you ask, what's a good course? How should I do it? And you get mixed messages. One person says, oh, you can't learn this stuff online. You can only learn it in person. Luckily, this belief is really dying off as more and more people are taking online courses, but also more and more great teachers and material has become available online since COVID. And honestly, I felt the same way until I actually tried. And you really only need one crappy online course. If you're going to go to Udemy and pay $29 for a course, and you're right, you shouldn't be taking a course online. But if you're actually searching for a good course and a good teacher, then it's a whole different bag, right? So most people have this belief because they've never tried taking an online course, or they took an online course and it was terrible. Truth is, there's a lot of people teaching and giving advice on the internet who are not teachers. And this image came up recently in a very timely way. Just a perfect example of a post that someone is, asking whether they should report this practitioner for doing this treatment. And so I'm going to get into that for a second and talk about why they should or should not report this teacher. Because let's face it, just because someone is nice doesn't mean they're a good teacher. Just because someone is loud, it doesn't mean they know what they're talking about. And this seems to be what is going on is, people are really sweet and nice and teaching courses, and everyone really likes the teacher. So then they assume because the teacher is a nice person that they must know what they're doing. And it's not actually the case. I'm a pretty nice person, but I'm also a really straightforward person, and I build very strong boundaries around my work because, again, do no harm, right? As long as we can clearly understand what may or may not cause harm, then we can approach the work in a very powerful and effective way. And this image is exactly the perfect example of that, okay? And why do I say that? I say that because there are people on there saying this image is fine. It's totally fine. That's gua sha, that's scraping, that's how it's supposed to look. Don't worry about it. Don't think twice about it. And then there are other people going, oh my God, this looks terrible. And I don't know what I'd do if, my husband came home with marks like this on his body. So what's the problem here? Is there a problem? Is there not a problem? There is a problem. I will tell you, there is a problem. The problem isn't that this person has a big red rash on their neck and shoulders. That is telling us that the person did a scraping technique, IASTM, Graston, Gua Sha. You call it what you want, spooning, coining, there's lots of different names for it. This is Gua Sha, and this is the effect that it can have, not necessarily, but it can have on the body. So we don't really need to concern ourselves about the marks themselves. But do you know what we should be concerned about? And this is where it really gets to me. I go on social media and I see this picture and I see all these answers, all these people who think they know what they're talking about because I don't know where they've taken their course. I don't know who their teacher was. There were acupuncturists on there and there were massage therapists on there. So I'm not saying because I'm an acupuncturist or because I know traditional Chinese medicine that I know whether this is good or not, because the reason that this picture is not good actually has nothing to do with traditional Chinese medicine. The problem is right here. This is the problem. And I'm not going to give it all away because that's why you need to take the course. Maybe you're a really clever person and you can figure it out. But there is definitely a problem here. And you know what? On this person, it wasn't a problem this time. But this is the thing. And this is the excuse that people have. They say, well, I've never had a problem with that before. Well, these are issues that can come 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000, 1 in 10,000 times. and they are contraindicated because there is a possibility of causing harm. And as professionals, we need to understand when there is a possibility of creating harm and we need to avoid it. So in my 4-step method, you're going to develop the skill set that you need to learn the technique properly, to learn what is safe and what is not safe, and to be able to practice as a professional. And it is a guarantee. If you complete all the lessons and you're stuck, I will help you. If you're struggling after that, I will refund your course. I do not want people in my course who are unhappy with the course or with what is happening. So Nina said, the way Lisa does the demonstrations is absolutely excellent. You will see all aspects of it. I find it better than having it right there because you never have someone blocking you. This way you get to see all the different angles. So she's addressing the idea of studying online. So obviously there's lots of different powerful and positive reasons to study online. And of course, you don't have to leave your home. You can study in your pajamas. You can study on your own time. And yeah, if you're in a big classroom and you're not an assertive person and you end up standing behind all kinds of people and you can't even see the demonstrations. So you may not even get a really clear image of what's going on. So this way, you got a camera that's focused right in on what's going on and you can see exactly what is going on. And I am explaining the techniques. I'm talking it through as I go uninterrupted. So the chance of me missing something because I've been uninterrupted or going off on a tangent as well, which often happens in live classes, is much lower. So mistake number 2. You believe that buying a modern training, scraping, IASTM, Graston, will be more appropriate to your practice. And I can totally see why you would think that. This is, it's a common belief and common error, and sometimes it's GUA SHA is a Chinese name. So maybe you want to say that you practice scraping or you practice IASTM. It's not a problem. You can call it what you want. I call it GUA SHA because I'm an East Asian medicine practitioner, and for me, that's the forefront of my work. If you study Graston technique, you're going to pay a lot of money for that beautiful logo and all of these handcrafted tools with the Graston trademark on them. I'm not saying it's a bad training, but it's very expensive and it just doesn't have the same background to it, right? The same core root. They took all of the Asian medicine principles out of the course. They stripped it down and taught the course. So what I'm doing is I'm putting it back in and I'm adding all of the modern applications that you would also find in these courses. Now, having said all that, I will say that the beauty of the development of Graston technique, I'm not here to criticize it at all. The beauty of it is that it has gotten it into the mainstream mind, right? Into the medical mind, chiropractors, physiotherapists, all of this. These are the groups of people right now who have the money to do the research and the studies. So this is actually a really positive thing overall, that it has brought this top of mind, and now we have more and more research coming out that proves the effectiveness of these tools. But when you're learning these tools out of context, it can be confusing. It can lead to confusing results, right? There's a little bit of a lack of clarity when it comes to treatment results because everyone thinks you should always have this big red rash, petechia, looser fascia, and less pain. And essentially, ISTM, scraping, GUA SHA techniques focus only on fascia, scars, and pain. But there's so much more to it than that. But what happens? What happens when your client is experiencing more pain or too much pain, or they get a negative result, or maybe it's not a negative result, maybe it's just a result that is unexpected? What do you do? Who do you call for help? There's no one. These courses are just there. They just exist in a vacuum. and there's no one there supporting them. If you have a treatment result that you have a problem with in my course, I am right there with you. I will absolutely support you through it. It happened too. I first studied Gua Sha in 1999. I was so reluctant to use it in my practice. I really, for the first 10 years of practicing, I barely used Gua Sha at all. It took 5 years later in my acupuncture training, I took a very similar, that it was part of our curriculum and it was a very similar course. It was like a day. And that's what most acupuncturists learn. They learn it in a very, very short period of time without any theory backing it up. That's why acupuncturists are on there with that image and they're saying, no, that's totally fine. And they're not even taking into account why it's not fine, indications, contraindications, cleaning and disinfection. So a lot of the time, especially if like a lot of people think, well, I learned from a Chinese teacher, so it must be a superior approach. Yes, except they don't even talk about indications and contraindications and cleaning and disinfection most of the time. Like it's completely just overlooked. So a big part of the important part of safety protocols is not there. And we're just there practicing. There's no theory. There's no like how to treat certain conditions or meridians. You just scrape. So, a lot of people think, oh, well, because, an acupuncturist showed me, I know how to do it correctly. Don't learn from someone who is not a properly trained teacher, please. They might be great at what they do, but it doesn't mean that they have all of the information to share with you. I learned from 3 teachers, and I will tell you, each one got progressively better. The 3rd class I took was amazing because I worked out this idea of working on the gallbladder meridian. That wasn't any of the teachers that I worked with. It was simply, well, we can't do that. How about you try this? Oh my God, that's amazing. And I also am the one who did all this work into the research, into the cleaning, into the disinfection, into the indications, into the contraindications. Right? None of the teachers I studied with ever told us any of that stuff. So that's how it is. Now, another example, okay, is several years ago, 2008. I had Graston technique. I had 10 sessions of Graston. I had blew my knee out. I had torn ligaments, and I was going to do cadaver ligament. And so they just wanted me to get, basically, my osteopath wanted me to have all, like everything working properly in my legs. My hamstrings were really tight. My IT bands were really, really tight. So I had a clinic at the time and I had a chiropractor working at the clinic, and he'd studied acupuncturist as well as Graston technique. So I didn't really know what Graston was at the time, but I was happy to try it. And Susie started doing it. I was like, oh, this is Gua Sha. And he's like, yeah. And so I had 10 sessions with him, and it was really, really effective. It was incredibly torturously painful. And at the time I was like, okay. But you know what? At the end of the day, I never had problems in my IT bands like I did at that time ever again. Again, it just resolved the problem and it didn't come back because this work just works really well. But having said that, in the techniques that I've developed, I think what he did, we can do in many less sessions and make it much less painful, which are both great things, right? We can be more effective and cause less pain. Overall, the client is going to heal better if their body's not fighting pain before it can actually heal the problem. So we've been told over and over again, this keeps getting drilled into us, that we need to only follow evidence-based medicine. East Asian medicine is more than 2,000 years old. There's hundreds, thousands of texts and case studies, thousands and thousands and thousands that demonstrate these different treatment approaches and the results of this medicine. A lot of it is individual client based because each person has a different pattern, slightly different. You'll see the same pattern repeating over and over again for sure, but each person is an individual based on our assessment of their condition, not a cookie cutter approach. The problem with evidence-based approach is they take one technique done a certain way and they apply it to a group of people, and not all of those people have the same pattern. So of course the results are going to be varied and less effective than doing an individualized treatment for each client. Now, again, I'm not here to cut evidence-based medicine down, because we have advanced so much of this medicine because of it, because we have been able to demonstrate the effectiveness of these treatments, even doing it as a cookie cutter approach. But when you get a good practitioner with good training doing individualized approaches, you're going to get even better results. Combining evidence-based medicine and traditional medicine and assessment techniques is going to lead to the most powerful results. So I'm just here to say, when you invest in top tier training, you get top tier results. If you pay $30 for an Udemy course, you're going to get basic results. If you really want to build your practice into a strong and effective practice that includes clients who are really focused on getting better, several things happen. Your clients get better faster. Your clients appreciate you. This means more referrals, filling your practice, and the ability to raise your rates. And great clients are so much easier to treat. Great clients do their self-care. They don't drain your energy. They don't expect you to fix them. They take responsibility for their health, which is so huge. And they're in the energy of abundance. And that's where we all need to be. We need to be living in abundance, right? So let's do that. So Nina says, my clients, since I've been doing Lisa's work, have told me that they like massages better than before I use the Chinese or the East Asian medicine techniques from Lisa. I highly recommend this work. So I love Nina. She's been practicing for over 30 years. So, as you can see, she's a little bit older lady, and she really was in a place where she wanted to find ways to work that were more efficient, that could keep her going longer. And so she came to me actually a number of years ago through facial cupping, and she follows every course, and she just gets better and better and better as a practitioner as time goes on. And it's really wonderful to see. So mistake number 3, you pick up tips on YouTube, you grab a cheap Udemy course, you go onto social media, you ask for advice. Just like every practitioner is not the same, neither is every class, neither is every teacher. Although you may find an occasional practitioner who has very little training and yet very naturally talented, that same practitioner will always be better with more education and scope. Maybe your spa provided you with a free or next to free course or training. But one day you may want to go out on your own, and you may have to up your game. Or maybe even in your spa, you want to stand out from the other practitioners from where you work. And maybe you just need to make the investment to get better. Because chances are, if you study Gua Sha this way, through a quick course or over YouTube, you will either never practice because you just won't have the confidence to start, like me, right? I little half-day training practice, and I just never really did it because I didn't understand when and how and why, people get these marks. Or you start and you hurt your client and you don't really know why, and you're confused, and then you get insecure and you think it's the problem of the modality, and your client doesn't like it, and so you stop. Your clients are assuming that if you offer service, you've been professionally trained. They are assuming this, especially if you're charging them money for this. So if you have not been trained professionally, you are really deceiving your clients. You are deceiving them. They are paying you money for something that they assume that you have taken a professional training, okay? These classes shouldn't even be allowed. Practitioners should not be showing other practitioners, how to do these techniques when there is a risk of harm, right? Unless someone is really taking this into consideration and going into great detail about the risk of harm, they should not be teaching. I'm not saying every person who shows someone else how to do it is not teaching about risk of harm, but most of them aren't. They're just like, oh, it's easy. Let me show you. Right? And they just show the technique, but they really, really are not going into depth. Really need to make sure that you research and search these teachers and find the teachers who are really qualified to be teaching these courses. If you take a hobbyist course, or you learn from YouTube videos, or you learn from another person, there are major holes in your training, right? It's not the problem of the person even teaching. The eye does not see what the mind doesn't know. So if this person hasn't been taught what questions to ask, properly cleaning, properly disinfecting, proper indications and contraindications, proper treatment effects, different techniques, if they've only been shown one way and they've been told that's the way, then they also believe that that's a way. And this just keeps perpetuating itself, right? So it's really hard because this is what we have to work against. And the world needs more healers. It needs more people who care more about people than money, right? More people who are willing to make the investment to really, really learn deeply how to do this work. Now, you may not choose to study with me, and that's fine. Like you, I'm looking for really a specific kind of student to take my class. I don't want people to give me a hard time. I'm dyslexic. Sometimes there's spelling mistakes in my work. There's probably spelling mistakes in the slideshow. I just don't see it, right? Because my brain just looks right past those things, even if I go over it 10 times. Actually, right before I did this video, I caught a spelling mistake and I fixed it. I'm not here to spell. I'm here to teach you this deep, energetic work. I'm here to teach you start to finish on how to do the work. I'm down here in the trenches with you, right? I don't even practice that much anymore. I am teaching, I am researching, I'm writing course content. I'm trying to steer the ship of these modalities so that people are practicing effectively and safely. It's my gig. When you take classes with me and you need support, I'm here to help you. Not an AI bot, right? If you are messaging about the tech, you may get an automated response that is going to guide you through how to get through the tech. I'm not going to lie, because tech is not my specialty. But if you still have problems, I'm here for you. But if you have problems with the techniques, if you have questions about the work, if you have a client that's confusing, you reach out and I help you. In fact, I help people who aren't even my students. Although I'd appreciate if you become my student, I don't discriminate against people who have chosen not to take my courses. I'm here to be of service in this way. So now we're going to get into the 3-step process to Gua Sha mastery, right? So we have the foundations, the treatment approaches, and the practical application. So step 1 is foundations. So it should go without saying that every good technique is grounded in foundations. Let's take a sip here. Here in this class, I teach you the historical grounding of Gua Sha, including when it was developed, what it was used to treat in ancient times, because it is relevant. It's relevant to how and what we do today. I go in depth about the Gua Sha, all the different Gua Sha tools, the modern tools like stainless steel, what they're good for, the different shapes of tools, the different edges of the tools, the different types of stone, animal horns, plastic, what each is good for, how to clean them properly, how to use them properly, how to store them properly. I touch base on East Asian medicine theory and how it applies to your client, talk about Gua Sha techniques. All of this is included in the foundation. I'm going to talk to you about the similarities and differences between these different types of scraping approaches. So scraping, coining, Gua Sha, ISTM, Graston techniques. There's so many different names, and there's so many things about them that are the same, and there are a few things that are not the same. So I go over that. I explain it to you, help you understand. Because this course, like I said, I'll reiterate it again. Even though I call the course Gua Sha, it is inclusive. I include and I use stainless steel tools. I use animal horn. I use natural stone. I don't use plastic. I use ceramic spoons. I use the lid of a jar. I use all of these different tools because they all have different things that they're good for. And ultimately, you might be in a pinch one day and you don't have your tools with you, but you know that coining could help someone. So why not learn how to use different tools so that you can apply it wherever you are in the world? So in this foundation, so we're going to learn the indications, contraindications. This is the most important indication and contraindications, considerations, cautions, and assessment and disinfection and storage of your tools. This is the part that is missing in most trainings. This is the part that most people, when they're learning or when they're showing or when they're teaching, just miss out on. And this is where we learn to do no harm. This is where we learn to give the best treatment for the human being that is in front of you, or the animal. You can do it on animals as well. This is where we learn how to interpret your client's issues, to apply the most appropriate techniques, but also to interpret the results of your sessions. And when you have these foundations, your results are going to be a lot less surprising. So, what's good for the goose may not be good for the gander. And for example, if you look at the historical approach to Gua Sha, you're going to understand it better. However, just one example here, in modern scraping techniques, they don't talk so much about the direction of application of the technique, which is really interesting because in traditional Gua Sha, they talk a lot about the direction of applying the techniques. And so you say, well, is that a Chinese medicine thing? Well, not really. It's a very logical, physiological reason why we apply the techniques in a certain direction that has to do with modern medicine, but it's missing from the modern approach. So this is one example of how I apply the ancient technique and ideology into the modern scientific medical body, what we know about anatomy and physiology. And it's really interesting that, as these courses are modernized and stripped down, that they're missing these super important parts that have everything to do with modern medicine. So when you understand this stuff, then you may make different choices about who this is appropriate for, who you treat, why you're treating them, when to perform the scraping techniques, what approach to take, what tools to use, how many treatments to use. There's so many choices that you may change once you have solid foundations in this technique. And so step 2 is treatment approaches. So this is where we get into, okay, you understand your tools, you understand your assessment, and now you're going into the body and they have a problem in a certain body area. And now you have to decide what treatment approaches you're going to use on the client. So when you have this amazing foundation, this part, the actual treatment approach, which is the only part that most training is actually going to contain, uh, it gets easy, right? This is the easy part. It's always it's the fun part too, right? So okay, like for example, you see I'm using this long stainless steel scraping tool on the IT bands. Now I may not use that tool on every person's IT band based on what I found in my assessment, right? So this is where we go in, and same thing, here we are. Um, just looking at, treating the forearms. If every massage therapist in this training and every body worker isn't salivating right now, you should be, because this is absolutely an amazing approach. And also, just looking at this tool quickly. Okay, why did I choose this tool? Why did I choose using this edge of the tool as opposed to one of the other edges of the tool? So these are all questions that you're going to have a lot more clarity about once you have your foundations down pat. And in this section, we're going to learn how to apply the techniques in all different positions. So sitting, supine, prone, even a little bit of side lying, although not as much side lying in this course as some other courses. So you're going to learn the most effective ways to get at certain body parts in different positions. Also, I'll just add here, in the kind of modern treatments, they mostly just work on the major muscle groups in the body. So in this course, I'm going to teach you how to treat the hands and the feet and the joint spaces and smaller areas, as well as the larger muscle groups. And not only are we going to learn musculoskeletal issues, but we can talk about lymph. We're going to talk about potentially using these tools as a recovery tool from illness. So there's just so much more to it when you look at things from a little broader approach. So most practitioners haven't even scraped the surface of what they're capable of. Your clients tell you that you're awesome, and I'm sure that you are, and they love your treatments. Deep down inside, I know there's more. You have a feeling or an intuition that you get, maybe not with every client, but with some of your clients, you just have a feeling something and you're just not sure what it is or why. And maybe you use your intuition and you apply it to your treatments and it helps. But imagine if you actually had a framework to apply these intuitions, these feelings to, and you understood, for example, that the problem you're talking about is an issue with the wood element, the liver and gallbladder. And so then because you've now studied a little bit about this theory, that maybe working directly on the area of pain is not the best approach, but maybe you can work distally to reduce the pain before you work directly on an area. Maybe you don't even have to work on an area. Maybe it miraculously clears up and everything starts to just make more sense. So the third step is the practice, right? Getting some practice on different people with different body types, with different constitutional types, will help you develop the skills and confidence to apply the approach into your practice. You get a feel for it on different bodies, and I recommend that you do a few, maybe 3 to 5 treatments, even short treatments on different bodies and body types, so that when you go into professional, you start charging money, you go in with a bit more confidence. So as I mentioned earlier, one of my bonuses is how to build your practice, build GUA SHA into your existing practice in a way that is in high integrity, and it helps you in your learning process, but it also gives your clients a feeling like they're getting a real treat, right? So they go for these additional services and they want to continue rebooking them. So it's a practice building as well. And you can take the course at your own pace, which is an amazing thing to do because life happens and we're all very busy and we always have the best intentions. However, inertia is a big deal, right? So when we take a course, we really want to get into it and start working and start practicing and start learning and continue with it so that we can keep the momentum going. So in this whole step 3, not only do we have Gua Sha for the body, but we have the additional course, which is a bonus, which is Gua Sha for the head, face, and neck. So we're going to address a lot of conditions, common conditions like headaches and migraines and sinus problems and TMJ, Bell's palsy, and of course also a cosmetic treatment for the lymphatic system as well. And I talk about one of the other bonus, which is the facial Gua Sha 5-day challenge. So this is a self-care course. So for 5 days, you go in there and you work on yourself and you get the practice that you need so that not only do you see the results on your own face, which allows you to go into your practice and share it with your clients with so much more confidence because you really, really had that experience yourself and realize how amazing it is, how it feels. So we have to master the techniques, we have to nail our assessment, and we have to be able to deliver this information comfortably to our clients as well. And you have lifetime access to the content. So that is an asterisk because, of course, this is an online training and things happen, right? Systems go down. At some point, if I were to ever, close the business or close the course, I would give you, a heads up notice so that you have the time and the ability to download the content. I would make it available to be downloaded, which it is not now. That you purchased. So it is really important that you make sure that you whitelist as well my email so that if I ever send you information out about that, you have the heads up to do that. So in this area as well, celebrate with a beautiful certificate that you print and you hang on your wall. You get continuing education credits. There's 10 continuing education credits for this course, and your clients are going to love to see that you have actually studied this treatment professionally. So if you take one thing away from this training, I want you to understand that when people say one training is better than another, it has nothing to do with whether it is live or online. It has nothing to do with whether the person was nice or not. It has nothing to do with whether they're loud or not. It has to do with the teacher, the content, and the student. A good teacher can work with you online and get you great results, especially if they are present with you in the process. I want you to become the best version of yourself. I want you to be in great abundance, and we do that by having great clients because we are great practitioners and we're concerned about the best training. And again, the most important thing right here, you can apply this immediately before you lay your hands on a client, is creating this intention, right? Do no harm. If you hold this intention, you will not hurt your client. You hold the intention and you listen to what your body is saying or what your mind is saying or however you receive messages. But if there's ever a doubt, then you need to stop, you need to step back, and you need to pay attention to those sensations that you have. So I've developed a methodology of teaching that simultaneously demonstrates how to apply Gua Sha to the body, as well as developing your assessment and critical thinking skills in your practice so that you can get closer to the root cause and apply an appropriate treatment for treating your clients. I know you're already an amazing practitioner. I don't doubt that for a second. And I know you wish the best for your clients. And now you're having the ability to not only develop your intuition, but to have a system to apply it too, which is going to get you into your zone of genius in your work, in your sessions, so that you can really bolster your outcomes. Okay. So thanks for hanging out, because I know not everyone believes in intuition, and I know not everyone believes in systems, and but I know you're here because you do. Okay, so we're learning how you can apply gua sha to your treatments in order to reduce your clients' pain and inflammation, improve their blood and lymph flow, and make them love you forever, right? Now, you can try to learn with books and classes, YouTube videos and searches. You can go on Chat GPT. You can go in your local Facebook groups. You can take a cheap Udemy class. You can listen to someone who's an acupuncturist and what they have to say and get them to show you. But you may falter, and it may seriously be limiting you, and you could be actually creating harm. It can be delaying your own success and greatly limiting it, and getting yourself into an uncomfortable and possibly career-ending situation. Or you can move along, join my Gua Sha complete program, get the correct tools for your style of practice. You're using the right tools, you're using them the right way, you're cleaning them properly, you are doing treatments that are indicated for your clients, you're developing your skills, your intuition, and your assessment, so that you can truly be working to your best abilities. So this course is jam-packed with 10 continuing education hours. And I'm telling you, the content is so dense in this course, so much more than that. So you may have to go back again and again and review the videos, and you are more than welcome to do that. It's available to you. That's the other benefit of studying online. When you take a live course, you got a book, you're trained there, but sometimes just looking at the book just isn't enough. This way you can go back, you can review the videos and see exactly what you need to do. So here's a bird's eye view of the Gua Sha program. So I just took little screenshots here. So we start off with, and every training has minimum of one video and mostly several videos. So we talk about the history of Gua Sha, the theory of Gua Sha, quiz. And so then we're talking about all preparation for Gua Sha, talk about tools, talk about safety, cautions, indications, contraindications, other techniques that are similar to Gua Sha, the similarities and differences. And then we're going to talk about the Gua Sha methods and the application. What is Sha? How to find Sha, right? Which is the specific indication for practicing Gua Sha. The Gua Sha treatment. So before you start, as well as post-treatment and client considerations, we're going to talk about communication with your clients here. And I missed a slide which has all the upper body techniques, which include Gua Sha in sitting, right? Gua Sha in prone, Gua Sha in supine, and we work on the head, shoulders, necks, arms, back, chest, right? The rib cage, the diaphragm, the abdomen, and then the lower body and the hips and legs, lower leg and ankle, glutes, hamstrings. We go into detail on all of this. And the last section, which is certificates, references, and course notes. So here I've included some research on Gua Sha. Once you've completed the course, you can print your own certificate, and there's a PDF of the course notes for your quick reference as well. So that's course. And I'm just going to talk quickly about all of the bonuses that I've included with this training. It's a huge amount of bonuses. I've just put so much content in here because I really, really want you guys to have everything you need to super, super, super advance your treatments. So Gua Sha head, face, and neck, it's $197 value. So it's a standalone course, which I'm applying. It's a 5 CE course. So here you learn how to apply facial Gua Sha for cosmetic treatment, as well as structures and treatments of the head, face, and neck. So headaches, migraines, sinus problems, brain fog, general malaise, fatigue, TMJ, and a cosmetic treatment as well. talk about the structures of the head, face, and neck. So this, you can right away increase your income by 20% and your effort by 60%. Help your clients feel amazing. The facial gua sha challenge. So this is an amazing 5-day challenge where you can learn as you go. So you're basically learning how to apply gua sha on your own face over 5 days. You get to see your own results. You get to do some self-care, and you can share this challenge with your clients as well, clients or your network, to create passive income as they go through the course as well, and help yourself and your clients feel amazing. And another amazing bonus, which is 20 vital acupoints of the head, face, and neck. So I'm going to teach you the 20 most powerful acupoints of the head, face, and neck, exactly what they can treat and for whom, how to use your tools and your hands to apply, use these acupoints. And this is going to improve your outcomes, it's going to improve your knowledge, and it's going to help your clients feel amazing. And the Gua Sha Masterclass. So this is learning the traditional Chinese medicine approach using meridian theory. So you can learn how to perform differential diagnosis to understand whether it's appropriate or not. You can learn about the importance of correct assessment in your treatments, and this is going to make your outcomes more powerful and help your clients feel even more amazing. And 10 questions assessment. So this is a traditional Chinese medicine approach to assessments. Very, very simple 10-question approach, which gets you really down to the root cause of your client's problems. So you're going to start to use differential diagnosis. You can learn the importance of correct assessment, experience more powerful outcomes, and help your clients feel amazing. And you're going to have 1-year access to Skillshare workshops. So this is an amazing bonus that I've added on that I've never included in this course before. So these are monthly workshops that I offer. So 12 months of these trainings, live stream and recorded trainings. There's Q&As, master classes, powerful training. There's even other teachers who are coming on here to present important information. You're going to get more powerful outcomes, help your clients feel amazing, and learn. And you have access to Ask Me Anything. So this is access to Q&A, online support, direct access to me, whether that is an email and a question, no question, stupid question. You're going to be able to reach out to me if and when you need help, so that I can get you through any bumps that you have along the way. You're going to get a Gua Sha toolkit. This should actually say $97 because I'm including free worldwide shipping as well. The toolkit itself is a $79 kit. You get the choice of a body set or a facial set of Gua Sha tools. They're high quality, custom curated. So I picked all of these myself based on what I understand for effective treatments and what I know that you guys are going to need. So you don't have to second guess or search around through Amazon or find out that you got junk tools. These are all tools that are good quality. And I will add, you will also have the opportunity, if you decide you want the body kit, you have the opportunity when you purchase to also purchase some facial tools and vice versa. If you choose the facial, you want the full facial kit, you can get some of the individual body tools as well. But you will get to choose one of the toolkits in your course package. And finally, you get PDF notes, which you're able to download and refer back to, and a course certificate with 10 continuing education credits for all of this training. So I'll just quickly reiterate the fast acting bonus. And this fast acting bonus is available for the next 15 minutes. So incorporating Gua Sha techniques into your existing products and the ultimate upsell technique. So as well as that, for the action takers, you're getting the Facial Gua Sha Challenge, 20 potent acupoints, Gua Sha Masterclass, 10 questions, Skillshare workshops, Ask Me Anything, continuing education credit, PDF notes, and certificate of completion. And all of these courses, if you were to purchase them individually, would be a $3,297 value. And we're going to offer these to you for $497. So again, you're going to get all of this training. And in the next 15 minutes, so I'm watching the time here, you get these extra bonuses, and we're going to go into a little Q&A session. So here we go. So this is what you're going to do. So you're going to click the button, and then you're going to be asked which of the kits you want, the face kit or the body kit, and you're going to be led to the sales page. So make sure you fill in your correct contact information. Don't forget to choose your currency. So right here we have US dollars, we have Canadian dollars. So unlike most Canadian courses, we always end up paying US dollars for a course. So if you're in Canada, make sure you choose Canadian dollars. You fill out all of your information here, and you'll be good to go. So here we go. 15-minute timer is running, and I'm just waiting here for any questions that anyone might have. So again, that's right. So the first page you're going to see, you get to choose between the facial kit or the body kit, and then that's going to take you directly to the sales page. On that sales page, fill in your information. Don't forget your currency. And at the bottom, underneath where you're filling in your information, remember, if you choose the facial kit, you don't need to choose facial tools unless you want more. You can choose some body tools if you want body tools. Same thing. If you choose the body kit, that means you're going to get, and you look on that page, you'll see you're going to get a wand, you're going to get a buffalo horn, you're going to get scrapers, and if you're interested in facial gua sha tools, you can choose the entire facial kit, or you can choose the roller and the heart, or any of the other curated tools. So they are available on the sales page. If you want to purchase them from me rather than having to go online onto Amazon, everywhere else afterwards, it's fine. If you want to source your own tools and buy them, it's absolutely up to you. But this is something I'm offering to you because I know myself that when I was looking for tools, it was kind of a nightmare. And I had to buy a lot of different stuff to figure out what was good, and is it real stone or is it fake, and is it made out of resin? Not that you can buy resin tools, is not a problem, and you can buy plastic tools if that's what you want. But if you want the true, the real stone tools that are appropriate and effective, then you can just get them here and keep your life simple. And they'll be ordered for you, and they come in the mail. So as soon as I get your purchase, then I will turn around and go through the warehouse and order your tools for you and have them basically drop shipped to you. So like I said, I'm working directly with suppliers so that I can get a little better price, but also, the good tools they're just a little bit more costly than, some of the cheaper tools, but that's just how it goes. There's a reason they're more expensive. It's because they're better quality. Although I have gotten wholesale prices for you guys. So, so that's up to you. I'm not benefiting from it. It's just something that I know that is kind of an objection when people are buying the course. Oh, I have to get tools and I don't know what to get. And it just seems like an awful lot of effort. So I'm just making it easy for you here. Okay, so next question. So how does the practice part of the course work? Great question. So it is a self-guided practice, so it's really up to you. I recommend that you start first practicing on yourself, For example, if you're doing the facial gua sha course, you can take the course, and then I would recommend going right into the 5-day self-care challenge, because then you have the ability to try this out on yourself, and you get to see how it feels, and you feel and see the benefits of the treatment. You get to practice a little bit, and you kind of get a handle for how much oil you need to use and how deep the pressure is, because you really don't want to start marking your clients on their face when you're practicing. And then same thing with the body treatment is you can start off, working on yourself. Obviously you can't get, really effective treatment on your own back, but you can work on your limbs. I think every massage therapist has tension in your forearms, so you can start doing it on your own forearms, and you can feel again how it feels. Practice the strokes, practice doing it correctly, practice doing it incorrectly, and just get a sense of it. And then by the time you're ready to start practicing on other people, you'll feel a little more comfortable. And I usually say to people, practice on your spouse, your friend, your kids, your neighbors. Just get a few different body types under your belt. Practice the assessment, looking for SHA on different people, so you can get a sense of what that would look like. And then gradually, if you get the fast acting bonus, and I'm going to show you how to really get your clients in on it right away and into it, and get it incorporated in your practice right away. Because and it's going to take a minute for you, right, before you really feel super comfortable with the tools. And once you get a handle on using the tools, and you can get your arms and your hands moving loosely, then you're really going to start to save your hands and work with a lot less effort. It's really going to be transformative for you. And let's face it, gua sha is trending, or ISTM, or scraping, or Graston, or whatever you want to call it, and it's very visual appealing. So people see it and like, oh, what's that? Oh, and they have all this excitement. So when you have this information, this knowledge under your belt, then you can talk to them about it, and you can say, well, do you want to try? Do you want to see what it's like? It's really amazing. And you know exactly how to get them going. And maybe they don't want to take time out of their massage, and they want to add time on. So you're essentially adding to your treatment time, but not really adding to your effort. So you're really clearing up a lot of energy for yourself. But also when you're working on this energetic level, which is really like, as you will learn, there's a big energetic component to it. You're going to feel better, and your clients are going to feel better. There's this freeing sensation that comes with it. I'm sitting here right now, like imagining how it feels to have gua sha performed on my shoulders, because I've been talking so much and sitting at the computer. It's so nice. So that's how you go about on the practice. And okay, I talked about sending the tools, and I talked about the practice part. Any other questions? So continuing education credit. So as I told you, currently this entire package is worth 10 CE credits. I have a lecture that I did on Zoom about the ISTM scraping Graston gua sha comparison, and it's an hour. So once I get it approved, there may be you'll just get that. You'll just get that extra CE, but I'm not promising it in here because life happens, and it gets very busy, and I get lots of questions, and I get distracted, and sometimes the tech goes funny, and there's so many things that happen. So I don't want to make any promises that you're going to get extra CE, but it is 10 jam-packed hours of training. So I've taken other courses that are a lot more CE credit, which I know people need and they're looking for. But on the other hand, the quality, to me, the quality is what's the most important. So I hope you feel the same way. All right, so we just have just about 6 more minutes left here. Oh, right. So, by the way, in case you didn't notice, which I'm sure you did, the link here has popped up, and you're just going to click on that link. That's the link that's going to take you into um, choose which one of the kits that you want, and then take you directly into the sales page. So there's just about 5 minutes left here. If you don't have any more questions, we'll just carry on here. I don't want to drag this out just because there's more time left. So this is the title page for the course. I recommend, click the button because it'll take you to the link. And if you need another couple minutes to decide, you can do that while we're wrapping up this training. And there's a lot of free, nice stuff that I've included here in this training, and you will not find all of those bonuses available in any other opportunity to purchase this course. So this is really the most bonus-filled opportunity that you have. So if you're interested in all of that extra content, then make sure you just grab that link, and also the extra action takers bonuses, which is exciting. And that training will come to you. So one of those is facial gua sha. So one of those will come to you when you start the facial gua sha course. It'll be automatically sent to you. And the other one will come basically once you've completed all of the techniques. So it comes sort of at the end of section 2 when you go into the practice part of the course, so that if you start taking the course and you end up kind of leaving it for a little while, I don't want to give you the training then, because you may forget, and and then you want to go back to it later. And so when you're ready to start practicing, that's the point in time that those action taker bonuses will be available to you. All right, so I think that's all the questions that I had here. So I'll end this training today. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your interest in really becoming an amazing, effective practitioner and doing your best for your clients. I wish everyone peace, love, and healing, and really, truly hope that you get the most out of this course. And and thank you for being there for your clients, and thank you for being a great practitioner who's concerned. It's a really great thing that you're doing here. Okay, all right, so good luck. I hope to see you in the course, and best wishes to you. Bye now.